Yo, Dizza Dizza Dogs. It's AJ back again, and I'm here for, instead of going a little bit further in Java, I want to do a quick review to make sure that even if you're a noob and maybe everything just isn't clicking yet, that maybe this video will help you um, understand everything a little bit better. So, one thing that I've been talking a lot about is objects. Now, objects, again, I want to iterate this objects and classes period again. I guess I'll type because my handwriting is not that good. Objects and classes are the basic fundamentals of Java. An object you can think of as is a big machine that contains data that you can manipulate, and that's about it, and it just holds information for you. So it has info. And I like to think of an object as kind of a machine. And a class is what governs that machine. It's like what Bill Gates is to Microsoft. It is it tells the object what to do and how to change. So the class is where the code is to manipulate the object as change the data inside it, and maybe transfer data from the object to other things. Sorry, I misspelled that. And so you want to and so classes and objects go one and one to do some great things, and you can combine multiple classes to do a lot of things. As one of the hardest things to realize when you're a beginning programmer is that there are programs with 1,000,000 lines of code, and they have a huge, and usually I was just reading programs with 1,000,000 lines of codes, which you shouldn't really worry about yet, have a very high chance of failing because basically the program basics are not applied, and a lot of collisions happen, and there's a lot of problems that can never be solved because there's so much code and the programmers did bad. So understanding how everything interacts is a big fundamental to making a good program. So hopefully if you ever end up making a huge application with many different people, that you can fix the problem easily and continue. So definitely think that classes are what manipulate the objects. They're what are used to define the object and create it. That's what we talked about, the constructor. The constructor initializes the object to the state that you define. Sheesh, I am not good at spelling today, guys. And remember, the last tutorial, the constructor is named the same thing as your class. It doesn't your class can be named anything. It's usual proper notation to capitalize your class, but you could capitalize the whole thing if you wanted to, I believe. And your constructor is the same thing, and creates the state of the object that you want to do. So you manipulate the data to when it was first created. So if you were creating a object that counts things, you probably want to initialize it to 0. And then as you add stuff, it goes up 1 and 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's what I wanted to talk about here. Another thing I mentioned a little bit in the last tutorial was getter and setter methods. And getter and setter methods allow the user or whoever's using the class to interact with your variables outside of the class. So a getter method allows the user to gain access, see what a variable currently is. and usually it returns whatever the variable. So return x is what usually the command in the getter method is. And a setter allows, the user to set that variable to what they desire. And you want to be, and since you are creating the class and the person using that class is on the outside and they can't change the code within the class, you can define what variables you want getters and setters for. For instance, you may only want, if you have a variable you do not want to change, for instance, you know that pi is 3.14. You may want a get pi method so it returns pi and you see that pi is 3.14, but you don't want to have a setter method so they can change the value of pi, because why would you want them to change pi? It's an overlong it's a constant, 3.1428. I don't know. I know some kid who can do like 300 numbers. Maybe he'll make a video with me one time. Wink wink. But so you want to think of why would you want to get or set a variable? Maybe you want both. Maybe you only want to be able to set it, or maybe you only want to get it. Most of the time, if you are able to set it, if you only want them to set it, you'll probably think of it wrong, and you probably want them to get and set it. But getters and setters are very common methods, and that's all I want to talk about today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it is a refresher, and that in the next tutorial, again, when we visit all this stuff, I just want to make sure everyone gets this, because I struggled when I first started computer programming, and I knew how hard it was for this to work out. I just want to make sure everyone else understands it. Thank you guys for paying attention, and to end my tutorial, follow me on Twitter, Applejuice Learning. It is, let's see, I think it's at Applejuice Teach. Please follow me. And if you guys want to have a little comment on, this is a website I've been creating, and tell me if you guys like this or not. And I'm trying to make it. It may come up. I'm trying to put my videos on it and such, and I can put notes on it and integrate it with all these lovely website. Note the donate button. But yeah, tell me if you guys like the website if you want to comment. So thank you guys. Have a great day, and I love you all.